Welcome to the Country Hipster Podcast. My name is Paul. I am the Country Hipster. That music you just heard was none other than the Unholy Four from Charlottesville, Virginia. Check out the Unholy Four on, there you go, on Spotify, Bandcamp, Instagram. They have an Instagram and whatnot. Also, I would like to apologize for the Unholy Four because I forgot to mention that they were playing also the music at the beginning of last week's episode, which was the Rick Barton interview. I did not mention the Unholy Four last week, so my apologies to our friends in Charlottesville, Virginia.
I listened to it and I just realized you're right. You're a piece of shit.
I am. I'm a total piece of shit. I forgot to mention. I realized it when I listened back. So. Excuse me. So, just real quick, some Ottsville Record Garage business, OttsvilleRecordGarage.com. If you use promo code KITTEN, it gets you 15% off of your entire order. That is a podcast-specific promo code that you can use there. And also, Monday is Memorial Day, so happy Memorial Day. It's also the unofficial start of summer. So, like I said, I am Paul. I am the Country Hipster. And to the screen to my right, maybe your left at this point, is my co-host and brother Adam, the Country Junk Folder.
Yeah.
So, you are.
So before we started going into it, I said to Paul, I had something that I wanted to talk about, but I'm going to save it for the podcast. So Paul sent me 2 emails in the past hour and a half, and both of them went to my spam folder.
Oh, okay.
So when I'm on my computer on Yahoo Mail, it's listed as my spam folder. But when I'm on my iPhone, it refers it to as my junk folder. What kind of sketchy shit are you on that everything you're sending me keeps coming to my junk folder?
It's probably because I was sending you stuff with links. That's the problem. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny because I had to mark it as not spam to actually click on the links.
Yeah. That's probably why.
I was like, no, he's sketchy, but I trust him.
Yeah, I'm not that sketchy. I'm a little sketchy, but not totally sketchy. So, is that what you had to say? That's what you had to talk about?
Yeah, just like if you get an email from Paul, watch out because it's coming to your fucking junk folder.
There you go. It might be. So I am drinking the PBR. What are you drinking there, sir?
I'm drinking. Katai and I often buy beer from the Royal Farms around the corner from our apartment, and we often just go with Miller Lite because it's there, it's cheap, and it comes in a 15-pack. So.
Okay, nice. Yeah, like, how is the selection at the Royal Farm? Do they have a pretty good selection of beer?
It's not bad. Okay. They have like a lot of New Belgium shit. They've had Evil Genius, variety packs and stuff like that. Cool. To show my love for the Mexican people, they have Modelo.
Chelada?
No, fuck no, they don't. They also
I know how much you like that.
They have I can't remember who makes it, but there's a company that does we've talked about it. There's a company that does a Delco lager. I can't remember who it is now, but they have. It's weird because Katai and I live in Delco, but they never have the Delco lager at the Royal Farms. They always have like the other big beer that they do. 2SP. There you go. Thank you, Katai.
Oh, okay. That's like that's the most Delco thing ever to not have the Delco beer in Delco. Yeah.
But so, they have a decent. They have a decent selection.
Okay. Cool. That's good. Yeah, man. I picked up a 30-pack of the PBR the other day, and so I'm enjoying it. Nothing wrong with some PBR. Maybe there might be something wrong with Miller Lite, but there's nothing wrong with PBR.
I will give a shout out to there's a beer distributor not far from us called Manoa Beverage. I refer to it as Aquaman because I instead of saying Manoa, I just want to say Momoa. But they actually have a really, really good selection there between craft and just macro type shit. Katayu. So let me tell you a cute little story. I'm sitting at the island in the kitchen watching the thing you sent me, and Presley walks over and sees the screen and just goes, "Hi." And I'm like, no. I'm like, this is. I'm like, it's like a YouTube video, and I'm like, look, and I paused it, and she's like, Why did you trick me?
Because it's so easy to do because you're a little kid. You can trick little kids very easily. Yeah.
Little kids
So
are really they believe, they still believe in magic. You can pull one of these and they still think it's real.
Dude, I remember when I did that for Liam and he like cried because he thought I really ripped my thumb off. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was the fucking worst day of my life because I had to fucking listen to that screaming kid about you ripping his fucking. And then didn't you also fucking tell him about chickens getting murdered to make chicken?
Not murdered. I just told him how they killed chickens to make chicken nuggets. Speaking of chickens, my chickens are getting huge. I got to talk to you about that after the podcast too. We got 4 chickens in our bathroom and Nina Simone is getting very, very big. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. So we are not here to talk about chickens or Miller Lite or the armpit of the Philadelphia area called Delco and their shitty beer places.
Hey, Paul, that's a nice shirt you're wearing. Do you think
that is a nice shirt? Yes.
You think you maybe want to talk about that an album that band has made?
I do. I want to talk about Skinny Lister, the Devil, the Heart, and the Fight. So real quick, I'll get into some factoids about it. This was one of my picks. There's really, honestly, there's not a whole lot of factoids on this on like the Wikipedia. So I'll just get into like what I could find and whatnot. It was released on September 27, 2016. It debuted on the UK indie album charts at number 38. The deluxe edition of the album was released in October 2017, which included 3 new songs not related to the original album. Some live songs and some different versions of existing songs were also on the deluxe edition, as well as some band intros and just talking about being on the road and stuff like that that they considered band chat. The album was produced and recorded by Tristan Ivan me. I'm you guys know how I am with names and words in general. So, excuse me, Tristan I something that ends with a Y. And it was mastered by Frank Arkwright at Abbey Road Studios. Yes, that Abbey Road Studios.
The Abbey Road.
The Abbey Road Studios. Yes. So, I think probably the best way to, I guess, introduce this album properly is probably to, I would say, see what Dan and Lorna from Skinny Lister would have to say about it. And so we're going to do that. I was actually able to sit down with Dan and Lorna from Skinny Lister and discuss The Devil, the Heart, and the Fight, as well as their newest release, Shanty Punk, which is what my shirt is for, Skinny Lister Shanty Punk. And we also... in this interview, we've got some like world exclusive breaking news from Skinny Lister in this. A couple different things. It was pretty awesome. So we're gonna take you to that. So it'll be a little, probably like a quick pause if at all, and we're gonna take you to that, and then we'll be back after the interview to discuss the album that we're here to discuss, which is Skinny Lister, The Devil, the Heart, and the Fight. So there you go. Off to the interview. All right, and we are good. All right, welcome everybody. We just mentioned, I'm sure, that we were just taking a little break to cut off to an interview with Dan and Lorna from Skinny Lister themselves. So, guys, welcome to the Country Hipster Podcast. I'm very excited you guys agreed to come on. How are you doing?
We're very good, thank you. We're good. Thanks for having us. It's it's a pleasure to talk. But we're awesome. Good. We're back in the UK right now. We're kind of between big tours. A little bit of downtime, which is nice and unusual. But yeah, we're making the most of it.
Good. Downtime is good sometimes. Not all the time. You gotta keep busy. But sometimes it's nice to be resting.
I say downtime, but we're actually in the middle of trying to get a new album together. So we're there's a lot of writing going on and that sort of stuff. But behind
awesome.
Yeah, we're at home. Yeah.
Nice. So we are going to talk about The Devil, the Heart, and the Fight, which is what this episode is about. But before we do, I would be very remiss if I did not mention to our viewers out there that you guys just put out an album in October called Shanty Punk. And I will say, if Shanty Punk were released before season 1, before we started recording season 1 of this podcast, that's the album we would actually be talking about right now. It is a phenomenal album, and it's definitely my favorite since The Devil, the Devil, the Heart, and the Fight.
Thank you.
So how are you guys feeling about Shanty Punk? I know there's a lot been going on in the last like 5 or 6 months with it.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's I don't know. We've been busy kind of touring it over the last few months, and we'd done some American dates end of last year, and a lot across Europe earlier this year. But it's been great. It's kind of an album that was sort of built for the road in a way. It's a lot of live kind of, up tempo tracks that work with an audience. So it was particularly nice to sort of take that one on the road and put a whole chunk of them in the set. A lot of them translate well into a live setting. So yeah, it's been good. It's been received really well. We've been picking up some good radio player in the UK with it and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it was kind of a distillation of what Skinny Lister is at its core, I think, as well. It's kind of sort of going back to the beginnings of Skinny Lister in a way, and it's very folky, and yeah,
but
it kind
it's
of is
not
what it
bad
says on
folk
the tin.
though. Yeah, it's fun folk. It's not like boring, like, you know what I mean? It's fun, and that was one of the things that I thought too. That was very much like kind of like very much like a return to home, but like expanding more on that initial sound from you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not finger in your ear folk, which we call that kind of, which we love as well. But it's not. Yeah, it's not that. It's Skinny Lister's version of folk, whatever that's become. But yeah.
Nice. And how has it been received when you guys have been on tour?
Great.
Yeah, they fit in just along with all the other classics that we do.
It's funny because we like, ideally we sort of get to road test some songs before you go into the studio and record them, and we did that with a whole bunch of these songs like Company of the Bar that's on there. What else is on there? Arm Wrestling in Dresden. There were Under the Breach. There were a whole bunch of songs that even before we'd recorded them, we started to wheel out in a live, setting, and they all kind of just slotted in there. And the set didn't lose a beat trying the new
even
ones.
Even like 30 Miles that you didn't bother to learn all the words for. When we did like a little, people were like asking for it at shows, and then you do a bit and everyone was singing the words, which aren't like the easiest words to sing.
For those
most of the band don't know them, but like the audience is like really going for it.
And for those listening to this who are not familiar, that's one of the straight up shanty tracks, just with.
But it's quite a lot of lyrics in it, isn't it?
Yeah, but every night we were doing it, and we're adding one more verse as I remembered them each night. So even tracks like that were going down really well. So yeah. For us, it's been a success, really. And we got, going back to the folk, we got this number 2 in the folk charts here in the UK as well, which is not a usual thing for us, because it was so in the folk genre. We call it shanty punk, but because it was in that genre, we qualified for the folk charts this time, and it did well. And just doing what we feel, what came naturally, I suppose, as usual. But yeah.
Yep. Well, congratulations on that. It is a great album, and you said you're kind of in between big tours right now.
Well, we've got we were busy last year and the end of last year, earlier this year, and now it's kind of festivals over the summer, getting new material together, and then come October. We hit Europe for 5 weeks with our label mate Frank Turner, which is nice. A big old. Is it 5 weeks? Maybe a little bit more.
Weeks,
so that's going to be a good. We're going to we're going to every country in Europe pretty much. Maybe not quite. We're going to a lot of countries, some that we've not been to before. So that's exciting, sort of venturing into new territories. And it's always a great time on the road with Frank as well, and his audience is always pretty warm towards us, and so that we're excited about that. Straight off the back of that, we get back to the UK and we start our UK tour, which has become an annual thing now that leads into our big sort of Christmas bash in London, which happens this year on the 13th of December, Friday the 13th. So that's how this year's shaping up anyway.
Nice. That's awesome. I'm actually going next month to see Frank Turner here in Philly,
Cool.
which is also the first time I saw Skinny Lister live. Was you were on tour with Frank Turner? This was at the Fillmore in Philly. It was like the second show there or something like that.
Yeah. So all the notes the night before.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Well remembered. There you go.
Yes. Yeah. That's good. That's good.
I remember like they didn't have all the equipment set out.
I remember now you mention it. Yeah.
It's good though. It's a good gig.
Yeah. Yep. And then I've seen you guys a couple other times in Philly as well, but that was the first time.
Yeah.
And so you talked about like some places that like you haven't like been to yet. Like, is there anywhere that you haven't toured where you're like, I really want to get there and I want to get our music heard in those areas?
I don't know. Australia's always been somewhere that crops up in conversation now and again, but that's a mission, It's a mission to get to, but it's also a mission to tour because everything's so far away that you've got to jump on planes and stuff, and you don't get a lot of sleep, apparently. But still, I'd like to go just to sort of tick it off. I mean, we've been lucky enough to go to Japan. That would have been one that I would have had on my list, but we've been lucky enough to go there. That was
nice.
Great. So, yeah, I don't know. Where else? I mean... To be honest, there's a lot. You seem to have enough territories on our plate as it is without I keep adding them. But I don't know. When things get proposed to us, it's always nice to.
Skinny Lister in Africa. Come on.
Yeah. There you go.
There was talk of that. There was talk of that.
There was talk, and then COVID happened. So.
We briefly got to go to Mexico and Belize on the Flogging Mullet cruise.
Very cool.
End of last year.
Yeah, Mexico would be good to do it properly.
Yeah, we only dipped in for those shows, unfortunately. But don't know where's next.
Nice. And when you guys tour, it's a family affair, right? Like you have the toddler really on tour. Yeah.
I mean, it's become more of a family affair.
Is it okay that I mention that? Is that...
Yeah. Because for those that don't know, we're married, and then Lorna's brother is the accordion player, Max, in the band. But yeah, more recently we've been taking our toddler Bonnie on tour with us, even on an 8-week tour in the US start of last year. On the tour bus, and Max's little 3-year-old came as well, and his wife. So yeah, it really was a family affair.
We always need a parent to obviously babysit as well. And then, so my dad, who actually sings a song on Shanty Punk, came on the last US tour, and so we got him up on stage, and where me and him could switch out, he'd come up on stage and sing his song William Harker, and he's very good at drinking, our rider, isn't he?
He drinks more than the rest of us. He's a professional drinker. He's
more seasoned.
Yeah, he is more seasoned. He's also known as Party George, but he's a bit of a cult legend, particularly here in the UK.
He gets spotted before the members of the band can annoy him.
Yeah, look out for Party George. But he sings, the track William Harker on the new album, and he wrote it and he sings it. But,
that's great. I like that.
Yeah. And whenever he steps on stage, he kind of electrifies the place. He does step the energy up. So yeah, here's to Party George.
Yeah. We're drinking his beer now, actually.
There you go. Actually, I was going to ask this. So we are a drinking podcast with a vinyl record problem. What are you guys drinking?
Right now we're drinking Bookham. In fact, that one's going to get another. It's a Bristol beer.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
I am not. I will have to look into it.
It's a tasty one. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, that one's out.
Do you want to
grab another? Do you excuse me a second?
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, I'm actually, because it's afternoon here. I have a show this evening, so I'm just drinking the bubbly water. But normally on the podcast we have some nice drinks. We also have a whole thing that's called like a booze and vinyl, where there's these books that match drinks with records. So we, that's one of the things we dive into when we're kind of doing a little cross stuff there between the records that are in the book and whatnot. So it's a lot of fun.
We actually, that's cool. We're good friends with someone from Left Hand Brewery, so we always had Left Hand on tour with us.
Nice.
Is he doing that still?
I'm not sure. But I mean, the drink that's associated with Skinny Lister more than any is probably rum, just because we always fill the flagon. Yeah, cheers. Anyway.
Yes.
We
yes. Cheers.
We fill the flagon with it, and pass it around. That's how
At the show in October at Milk Boy was the first time I got to drink out of the flag, and I was very excited.
Okay.
I was kind of like standing towards the back with my wife, and I saw it going around. I'm like, I got to run up and grab it. so she's like, you go have fun. Yes,
well, it kind of disappeared during the COVID years for a couple of years, but it's been allowed back, so which is good.
That's
good
awesome.
Yeah.
So where can people pick up Shanty Punk? Like, where can they listen to it and whatnot?
All the usual places,
you can
all the streaming places.
Stream it if you must. Purchase it from Extra Mile Recordings. You can probably, in fact, there might be a few versions in America at a merch stand, at a merch store. So
What are you talking about?
Well, we've got a few copies over in America.
Yeah. What do you mean at a merch store?
I
don't know.
I don't think they're even there anymore.
You're best off going online and having a look, but you can basically get it from all the usual places.
I'm just trying to save people on postage.
Right, okay. You mean there's some in America?
There are a few copies in America.
Yeah. We can track them down.
All right.
They're in Florida somewhere.
All right, very nice. So, like I said, Shanty Punk is awesome. Love Shanty Punk, but we are actually here to talk about The Devil, the Heart, and the Fight. Like I said, until Shanty Punk came out, I would definitely call this my favorite Skinny Lister album. It is a very complete album in my mind. And what I mean is, like, from front to back, it's just a solid album, and it tells a story. It's almost a concept album. Like, would you guys consider it a concept album, or did you go into it trying to do that?
We've got a copy here actually, because
it was. I mean, if anything, the latest one that we've been talking about, we kind of viewed as a concept album, with the concept being Skinny Lister. I think.
What's the concept?
I don't for this. For this, I don't know if we did have a concept in mind. It was probably simply a case of what are the best songs we've got on the table at the minute, and will they work together, sort of thing. So, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure there was a concept. Other than it was a Skinny Lister album, It's funny because we were like, we're going to talk about Devil Heart Fight, and we were like, what are the tracks that are on that one then? Because we've done a few albums. we kind of didn't know, but then we checked and we're like, oh yeah, we actually do these. A lot of these songs are staples in the set, and I didn't realise there were so many off this album that we actually do play in every set pretty much. I was almost surprised to see that, but the first half of the album we play most of those songs. Hamburg Drunk, Wanted, Geordie Lad, Tragedy. They're all played, in every set. So it's. It almost surprised me.
It is. It's a very good album. Very good album. So, and the last few times I've seen you, and I don't know if you're continuing this, you've opened with Wanted, which is just, it's a solid opening for an album, and then for live shows. That's just kind of like your go-to, like your comfort zone when you're playing.
Yeah, I mean, we like the fact that one just comes straight out of the blocks, and it's off. It's got no intro other than my vocal and then in, And it kind of, we like what that does for a show, in that it's like, right, bang, and we're off. At the minute, maybe at some point we'll have start with a more gentle opening, and we have different openings.
We argue over the set list quite a lot.
But
do you?
It's a bit of a slap in the face is Wanted. It's quite a nice, it just gets you off on the right foot.
We all know what's coming and what we're going to do, what's expected. Yeah. I think. We've tried other things.
So now you said you fight over the set list and whatnot. How does the writing process work? Like, do you guys fight over the writing process as well?
I generally write the songs as in the song that you sit and play on acoustic. The arrangements though, that's a whole other matter, because they come into once they're given over to the band, everyone's got the say and everyone has an opinion.
Yeah, but I don't think I think over the time that we've been a band, we're pretty. I don't think there's much arguing now.
No, but you want a bit of healthy debate. It's kind of good for the songs to be pulled about a bit. So that does happen to an extent, and a lot of songs will get vetoed as well. They won't make it to the album. You know, I'll write more than there's 12 on this album.
That song's really annoying.
There's 12 on this album. I'm sure I'd have written, I don't know, 15, 16, and possibly more. And some of them don't make the grade, you know. But, yeah.
Is that why Boy Is Sure ended up on the deluxe edition and not on the actual album?
No, that's not fair. I think that's a crime.
That was written slightly too late to be on the album or something. I can't remember. I mean, a lot of it comes down to timing as well.
Right.
That the song, I mean, that's sort of a deep cut, as they say, isn't it? That one actually was recorded on my iPhone, that Boy Is Sure. So it's very lo-fi. But I like that tune, but it's just me. It's into an iPhone. Yep.
So now I've noticed, or it seems like when you're writing the songs, you're writing like real life experience songs. Like, you know, especially with the lyrics come to like they're stories that you've actually lived. So first of all, in regard to Shanty Punk, I would like to take the opportunity of all Pennsylvanians to apologize for whatever happened in Pittsburgh. You know, Pittsburgh.
It wasn't Pittsburgh's
fault. Yeah, it's, you know, it's that that's like the you know, you know, it's like the family member that you accept, but you're just kind of like, yeah, you know, that's Pittsburgh for us. So, but could either of you explain to me what exactly is Hamburg drunk?
Well, it kind of we did a tour years ago with you know, Chuck Reagan.
Yes,
across Europe, which was a great tour. It ended up in the last day. It was in Hamburg, and well, actually, it was partly one of the band. I think they handed us this bottle of alcohol that just had like a skull and crossbones on it. God knows what it was. I think it was pretty unmarked. It's like a brown, looked like a medicine bottle. And we ended up going out on the town with this thing.
Well, no, Dan ended up going out. You wouldn't let any of us have any.
Well, I can't really remember. I mean, there's some details that I can't even disclose here, but it was a very drunken, like a crazy drunken night, and it kind of became a little term that you're not going to get Hamburg drunk again, are you? Because it was one of those nights that I mean, nice. I did lose, and all the words are true. I lost. What did I lose? My wallet, glasses. Also, oh god.
Oh jeez.
Toothbrush.
I mean, what I do like to do in these situations is get a decent song out of it if I can, and then at least there's some, you know, you got something back from the loss.
Right. But it was a good night.
So it's just basically it became a bit of a term, you know, going out getting Hamburg drunk, and we thought, you know, it had a ring to it. But we've got a few of those German songs now. We've got one, the Arm Wrestling in Dresden, the Hamburg drunk. Is there another one? I can't remember. But yeah, we like Bavaria area, which is about our experience with Bavarian police and getting pulled over and searched thoroughly. So yeah, but that's partly because we tour Europe a lot. So, you know, these stories come out of the touring experience. But yeah.
Nice. And then I'm going to also guess that like you did get beat up on Oxford Street. Did that also really happen?
That happened a few years ago, and I did lose big chunks of teeth, and yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And
don't feel sorry for him. Don't feel sorry for him. He had a warning. He had a warning not to mess with this punk's hair.
Yeah.
And he carried on.
And he did. It sounds like I'm making it up. The guy had a mohawk. He was a proper, you know, like a classic punk.
Yep.
Like
the real
punk.
Big exploited mohawk with the three colors. Yep.
Yeah.
Did you have a suit on?
I think I did. Yeah, I've just come from some weird party, you know. Okay. Anyway, but it didn't end well, and the next day I was unemployed at the time, and it's all in the song. I don't know whether people pick up on the lyrics, but I had to go and sign on, which is to get your unemployment benefit. And I had a massive black eye, teeth missing. I mean, it was a low point. But as I say, it's nice to get it in a song a couple of years later, because you kind of, you know, you give it, you know.
Gives it some purpose.
I think it was Max's idea, actually. It was like, why don't you write a song at that time you got, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
being from Philadelphia, I also it's funny because it's one of the first songs I ever listened to from you guys, and I hear you talk about Rocky Balboa, and I'm like, oh wait, what's this? What are they talking about, Rocky Balboa? And that's so it definitely has that Philadelphia connection there, and I'm just like listening to it, I'm like, oh okay, this sounds like a fun but not fun night. So
I wouldn't, probably started off fun that night. It didn't end up fun. But yeah, that's probably one of my favourite rhyming couplets that I've done. The Rocky Balboa Krakatoa rhyming thing. That it came out well, that song, I think. Yeah.
Nice. So any like, are there any songs either on this album that we're talking about, or like any of your albums really? Like, what are some of your favorite songs to play? Like your favorite Skinny Lister songs to play?
I'll tell you what, one that is on this album that the whole band really enjoyed playing is Tragedy in A minor. And it's not necessarily, it's not necessarily the one that's like, 100 mile an hour wanted kind of track, but it's got a nice groove to it, and the band really enjoy playing that. Yeah.
So real quick on that note too, what you're saying is it also speaks to 17-month-old babies. My really? Daughter Regina, and I'm kind of jumping segments in the podcast here because we talk about one of the things that we have is how my daughter reacts to whatever album we're listening to, and it usually comes towards the end of the podcast. So I'll just spoil it and say that the Regina factor on this one is a definite yes on the Devil, the Heart, and the Fight, but specifically Tragedy in A minor. We were driving in the car the other day, and it's playing, and the part do 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 do. She just keeps going do 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 like the whole time. It was like it was adorable. She's like kicking her feet and doing the do do do. So that's good. So what yes. So what other, like, Lorna, what's like your favorite stuff to do? And by the way, Mantra's amazing.
Mantra's good to sing. I do enjoy singing Mantra. Yeah.
You like doing Devil in Me as well. Yeah.
I like doing Devil in Me, but Tragedy in A minor is probably my go-to.
Cool.
Really, just as soon as the the opening songs are done, and then we go into Tragedy in A minor, it's like, relax, we're in.
Yep.
Good feeling. Good feeling.
Nice.
But I like 13 Miles as well. Yeah. I really like it.
I mean, there's some tracks that we've been doing years that are guaranteed sort of. I mean, we've been doing John Kanaka for a long time. No, it's not on this album. Or Bold as Brass from Down on Deptford Broadway. There's those songs that are kind of good old friends that you can kind of rely on, and you know where you are with them. So yeah, I don't know. We've been going a little while now, so there's a whole bunch of songs that we've been playing a lot. Which is quite nice in a way, because there's so many songs that we can wheel out that kind of feel very familiar to everyone, as well as always the new ones we're releasing as well. So that's the nice thing about having a bit of a back catalogue. But like I was saying earlier, there is a bunch of this, Geordie Lad. I really like playing Geordie Lad, and it's not a typical Skinny Listener track in some ways. It's not like a Company of the Bar or a Bold as Brass thing. It's a bit, It's like a different thing. It's got a big sort of riff on it, but I really enjoy it. It's kind of I describe it as quite euphoric. The chorus onto it. I don't know if you hear
real take the piss out of that. But I'm gonna say, hot off the press, Dan might have just written my favourite ever song.
Oh, nice!
I'm not saying anything else.
Can you tell us what it's called?
Better get on the next album.
No, you can't say what it's called. You can't.
Can't say what it's
called. No, anyway, she might not like it tomorrow.
I love it. I will.
Okay.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. All right. Well, when the new album comes out, when are the plans for the new album?
Well, we can't say too much in a minute. And not, we're very early on in the process. I've got a whole bunch of songs, but there's a whole.
We've not put anything together.
Yeah, until the whole bunch of things need to happen before we get to the point where we've worked the songs out, we've recorded them, we've worked out release dates, all that stuff. So there's not much we can say at this point other than
I'm leaving the band if that song doesn't make the album.
There you go. It's happening.
You could start that yet to be named synth rock band that you were talking about starting a few years ago.
Yeah. I know. I thought about that this April. First, that when we did that.
I used to joke about it all the time, and then Michael put that up on the Facebook.
Yeah. So could we say then that like just the announcement that you guys are doing another album is like a world exclusive announcement on the Country Hipster podcast? Can I say that?
Why not? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
World exclusive announcement. I'm writing it down. So we don't get a whole lot of those around here. So one of the best parts about Skinny Lister, in my opinion, is just how accessible you guys are to fans. Like everyone, it's not just you two. It's everybody in the band really makes an effort at shows to like come out and talk to the fans and be at the merch table and say thank you and shake hands and sign whatever you guys whatever you have to sign. And the coolest thing about it is it's 100% genuine. Which you don't always get that from.
I say they're not getting paid unless they get out.
Okay, but that's awesome. But so like why is that important to you? Like why does that seem to like it seems to matter? So why?
It kind of, and it's maybe because of how we started, and we started in being in folk clubs and playing music as part of a community, I suppose, and what we do now just feels like a bit of an extension of that. And we only really come out and sort of hang out with people and stuff because we kind of enjoy doing that. It's kind of why we started a band, I suppose. I mean, you always say you joined the band to get into festivals for free, didn't you? But it's I don't know. It doesn't. It's just part of why we do it.
For example, during COVID, we had our little girl, and I could count. Definitely, I could count how many people I spoke to in 1 year, including midwives, nurses, blah 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 blah. And it was not a lot of people. On a regular sort of tour night, I would talk to exactly the same amount of people as I spoke to in that year. And I think that just it's not where we want to be. We're out there. We want to meet people. We want to talk to people. We enjoy traveling. And now, because we've been doing it for so long, obviously when we go to America, in every town we've got friends and people that come to the shows, they become friends, and that's just a really nice special thing. And also it just makes life a bit more interesting, doesn't it? 'Cause
yes,
you're really weird over there, and so it's great to come up and find out how weird you are.
we are definitely weird. Well, I'll tell you that at the Milk Boy show in Philly in October, I had a great interaction with you, Lorna. When I got there early, my wife knows I like to talk and I like to hang out. And it was a Thursday night, and we had to get home to the baby at that point, who was like 10 months old. So she's like, could you just buy your stuff when we get there so we could just go when the show's over? So I was like, all right, cool. So I bought the album, what I mean, bought a couple things, bought I think like something for Pet Needs as well, which they were a lot of fun that show too.
Yeah.
But like what I have over on my wall here, what we can't see is I have all of the autographed records that I have from you guys hanging up on the wall here in the Ottsville Record Garage. I haven't hung up Shanty Punk yet because I have to get a case for it. But that was the thing was can you hear me all right?
Sorry, you dropped out for a second, but you're back now.
Oh, that's okay. All right, cool.
You said you had things hanging on the wall, yeah.
Yeah, I have like all the autographed LPs hanging on the wall except for Shanty Punk because I haven't had a chance to put that up yet. Yeah. But what was cool was like, so you guys didn't have the autographed records out yet, but I had already bought it. And as I'm walking out, I'm passing Lorna, and I was like, "Hey, thank you so much." And you saw the record, and you go, "Is that autographed?" And I said, "Well, no." And so you took it from me, and then went and grabbed me an autographed copy, which was really cool. And it just, I love it, and I can't wait to get it on the wall. But that speaks to how awesome you guys are to that you really like care about your fans and
I think we're also still we're not playing stadiums and stuff, so we're still at a level where we can interact, which is quite nice. If it's a room of a few hundred people, we can still interact with most people after a show. It'd be nice to have several thousand people that it's been impossible to interact with, but as it happens, we enjoy the following we've got. It's a very loyal following. It's not colossal, but it's good. It does as well, and it's a loyal following that we is part of the community. And, we enjoy that. Yeah.
Awesome. So in general, like what would you say for each of you? It's actually, because I'm assuming you'll have some little bit different answers here. Like, what are your like main musical influences?
Oof. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I had a quick whiz through your the albums you've been speaking about on your podcast. Actually, I haven't listened to them all, but I'm curious to. But I see you chat about some interesting albums on there. There's a few that I'm a big Smiths fan. I see you. I haven't listened to what you say about it, but I think you talk about Queen is Dead on there.
Yep.
So I'm assuming it's positive things you say about that.
Yeah, definitely. That was a positive one. Yep.
So Smiths are a big one for me. I see you talk about the Lars album, which I was quite surprised about, because I wouldn't have thought the Lars had a big impact in the US. I was surprised to see that in your list.
It's There She Goes. So that song, was put into a Mike Myers movie and was like huge. Yeah. And so my friend Sean, who actually wrote the theme music, not for the podcast, for his band, The Unholy Four, but we use it in the podcast. I needed a random episode. He's like, hey, I just picked this up. Let's talk about it. I was like, sounds good. That's a weird album. It's a good album, but it's a weird album. It's kind of like all over the place.
But yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that's one of my main influences. I mean,
Dan walks around listening to podcasts about Beatles.
I do still love the Beatles.
Okay. And all the time. Like George,
let's not make me look like a
George
weirdo.
picked up a lecture.
No,
He's pinching me.
When I was when I'm trying to get shut. When I was a kid, I used to be obsessed with the Beatles. When I was 11, 12. And then I kind of drift away, and then I listen to things like the Smiths or whatever. I got into all these other things. Now and again, I like to just touch base and come back to the Beatles. And just
touch base, wow, all right. He's touch base. Handsome.
They're kind of solid in the background. But I wouldn't say Skinny Lister sounds like the Beatles either, because
not at all.
That go into Skinny Lister are. And I see you talk about the Pogues on one of your podcasts, actually. But they're an obvious one. They kind of laid the template of the folk punk thing, where you could do folk and bring in a punk attitude, to a folk sound and use folk instruments, but play it with a punk attitude. Now, that's very inspiring. I think Skinny Lister, that's undeniable that there's some of that in there. But then we like to, we reference a lot of 80s things, Adam and the Ants, we Dexys, Midnight Runners. There's all sorts of little touchstones. Even on this album, Tragedy in A Minor, I know we were trying to recreate some Adam and the Ant things in some of the percussion that's going on in there. So,
Devil in Me, Kate Bush beat.
Yeah. There's kind of these 80s things, for whatever reason, that creep in. I mean... At the core of it, there's still a folk thing, but it's there's all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Well, I feel like A Matter of like Life and Love, like very much touched on like that, like late 70s, early 80s, like almost like like specials and what the hell is it? Madness. That type of sound definitely comes through on that one. But and that's one of the things about all your albums. Even when you get a little more alt rocky, you never lose your folk sensibility.
No, we try not to go too far from what the core of the band is, but at the same time, you want to explore a little bit, and you don't want to be too samey either, and you've got to satisfy your own sort of kind of curiosity to explore things to some extent, and take people on a little journey with you, rather than just staying too rigidly in whatever
into the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, you haven't said what your influences are, but
I mean, I don't know.
Your dad is
I haven't got influences, but I grew up in folk clubs, like little folk clubs with old men that catch their teeth and whack them back and carry on a song.
That's us in a few years.
Trying to keep our teeth. So that's probably the influence of the singing and the music and that. But me and Max, before I kind of met Dan, we were playing Appalachian folk music. That's kind of how I started singing, really, I guess, and performing. We used to get dressed up in full length dresses and sing Carter family stuff. and not to a great standard or anything, but it was, that was kind of how Max picked up the accordion, because he always played piano and dance music and stuff before, but we just decided that it was time to explore folk, really, and then Dan sort of came into the picture. So so folk's always been a big thing, but I love a bit of Taylor Swift and Sylvan Esso. I love Sylvan Esso, and loads of stuff, really. I don't know, like to dance.
It's funny you mentioned Taylor Swift, and actually one of our episodes is about Folklore, which I don't particularly consider myself a Swiftie, but like Folklore is a fantastic fucking album, like head to tail. So it's a real good like alt rock album there.
I like how she's sticking up for herself as well in the music industry. I think she's a powerful person with positive messages. So, I'm not a Swiftie either, but I just I do like some of her tracks, basically.
Awesome. So do either of you collect records?
No,
not massively. I mean, we have got a bunch of vinyl in there. We rarely play it. I've not got the best turntable. So
me and Bonnie probably play it more than you.
So sorry to disappoint. I mean, what we have got here, because I wanted to check the track listing again on what's on there. We have got a copy of Devil Out Fight.
We have all our own merch.
Right. We do have a bunch, but not tons. And George, Lorna's dad, Party George, who we've already discussed, he's very serious about his vinyl, and he will spend a lot of money on
I imagine when we grow up, we'll get a proper record player and sit and listen to music.
Yeah, but we never have time.
Dan is also, because he does a lot of the production and everything, I think you're busy listening to how things are recorded rather than just, put something on and enjoy it.
Well,
you have a lot of comments about how things are recorded. I can see your brains working when you listen.
I mean, with the last couple of albums we've produced ourselves, so there's a bit of a shift in thinking about that side of thing as well, I think. Is what you'd say.
Awesome. Well, I don't have that many, actually really any more questions for you. We've pretty much covered everything. Is there anything you guys want to talk about like Skinny Listerland or anything like, anything that's going on with you guys?
There's not much we can say. I mean,
we've given that big secret away.
One of the little secret is that our current US visa runs out in March. So what we think would make sense is if we did come back maybe in February to the US, but there's nothing set in stone on that front either. But that is a possibility, and we'd like that to happen if it can. So look out for that as well.
And so what I'm hearing is when you come back to the US in February, you're going to have my band, the Birmingham Six, open up for you guys. Is that what I'm hearing here?
Do that. Yeah.
So, of course, I had to throw that in. Yes. Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, skinnylister.com is best place to keep up.
Yeah.
With you
or
guys?
any of the socials, just /skinnylister does the trick.
Okay.
Nice one.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, cheers.
Thank you so much.
Useful stuff there. I know we didn't talk exclusively about the album, but hopefully, it's relevant. We said, yeah.
It is all good, and this was so much fun, and I really appreciate you guys coming on, and good luck with the new album, and hopefully we will talk soon.
Yeah, and if we do come through, let's talk about that as well with the band. That could be good fun.
That would be fun. Yeah. That'd be a good time. All right, awesome.
Cool.
All right,
cheers, Paul.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Yep. All right, I'll see you. All right. And we're back to the Country Hipster Podcast. I would like to just take this time, especially to thank Dan and Lorna for sitting down, taking the time to come on to the Country Hipster Podcast. That was like a great just moment for me, and it was a really, really good conversation to talk to them about music and their new album, and just everything in general with them. It was really cool, and I had fun doing it. I don't know, what did you think of it there, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. A huge thank you to those guys for coming on and dealing with Paul for 40 minutes.
I know, right?
I just want to throw in a little tidbit. I bring up, Paul sends me the interview. I bring it up to watch it, and Katai's sitting next to me at the kitchen island and just goes, "He's handsome." And I go,
thank you. Thank you.
And I go, "Oh, he's got an accent too." And she's like, "Nah, it doesn't really do anything for me unless it's a Boston accent." I was like, "Oh, you mean the ugliest accent in the world?"
So
I apologize to any listeners in Boston, but
yes, did she listen to the Rick Barton interview last week? So because then you might be losing her.
No, I mean he did have an accent too.
There you go. There you go.
But not to play favorites. She also did say Lorna was also pretty. So just a handsome couple according to Katai.
There you go. There you go. No, they were really cool. It was really cool
thing going on over there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And this is why we don't get celebrity guests on the Country Hipster Podcast ever again. Thank you, Ty and Adam. No. So it was really cool. It was really cool for them to come on, and we really appreciate that. It was a lot of fun. And you heard the world exclusive news there that they are they're already starting to work on their next album. They're in the very early stages of that, and it looks like they're.
I think more importantly, if they do not include that song, she's
Lorna's gone, man. I think that has implications beyond just the band there. If that song does not get on the album, which I do not know what the name is, but we'll have to check. And then also looks like they're gonna try to set up a little tour in early 2025. And I'm dude, I was pretty insistent on messaging them and getting them to commit to doing the interview. So I'm definitely going to be pretty insistent on the Birmingham Six playing with them when they come to the 2025. So
I thought it was super interesting, listening to the music, it's whatever. But then listening to them talk, it kind of puts an interesting little wrinkle in it that I didn't realize that they were together.
Oh yeah. I don't know if they were married when this album came out or what their situation was or anything like that. I didn't really ask them. But yeah, they I remember when I saw them in I think it was 2019 that Lorna was pregnant at that time. So yeah. So what you listened to the album. We actually had 2 weeks to go over this one because we had a little break there. And what do you think of the album? Remember, I told you have to be nice.
No, so
because it's funny because I'll just say this: after camera, when we were off camera, Dan actually said to me, he's like, well, your brother's usually the co-host, right? And he's like, what did he think? I'm like, honestly, I don't fucking know. I have no idea what he thought. So Adam, what do you think?
I think before I even get into what I think it's super awesome that you asked them to do this interview. Mm-hmm. And they didn't just go, "Oh yeah, totally sure, we'll do the interview. We'll be part of it." He specifically, he mentioned episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did a little bit of research to of what we do here.
Yep. So
super fucking cool.
Yeah, he admitted he hadn't watched it yet, but to an extent, I don't feel bad. They know what they got into. So, yeah. But no, that was cool. That he did some research there. That's just which is really cool, and I do appreciate that. So your thoughts on the album?
So when we recorded what was the last album? Sound of Silence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
When we pulled Skinny Lister on the Sounds of Silence episode, you said that I was either going to love or hate this album.
Yes.
There was going to be no in between.
I did not think there would be an in between. No, is there an in between? There's
an in between.
Okay.
Now let me preface this by saying I enjoy this album. I enjoy listening to this album. I don't hate this album. I think what it is this album. I'm gonna need a few more. I probably listened to this album over the course of the past 2 weeks, anywhere between 8 to 10 times.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna need a few more listens. To really develop it's a like moving towards a love.
Okay.
With a few more listens.
All right. So here's the thing. So before I would say that your reaction would be that of a fungus album, meaning that it grows on you, like, because we've talked about that, like how we've had those albums where like the first listen you're like, oh my god, I hate this, but the more you listen to it, the more you like it. You know, I before we you know, categorize this as, for you to be a fungus album, did you at least like it? Were you middle of the road the first time you heard it, or were you just like, oh, what the fuck?
No. So here's the way I look at it. I like the album from the jump.
Okay.
I think the issue is that the first time I've ever listened to this album was, you know, a week and a half ago. I think what it is I would really, really love this album once I get to, like, because right now all I can do is hum melodies. If I were to get to the point where I would be able to sing along, I think I would appreciate this album more.
Okay. So yeah, all right, I got you. Yep.
A lot of the songs on the album speak to. I think a lot of the songs in the album are very like that. I think that's part of the enjoyment of this album is singing along to this album. It's very. It has a very like almost like a fucking. It has a very almost like bar room like drinking song type feel to it on a lot of parts of it.
And that's kind of Skinny Lister in a nutshell too. I mean, they're just, you know, I've seen them I think 4 times at least. I have all their albums. And like, but like,
you have like half of them signed.
I do. I have 5 of them signed. There's only one album they don't have out on vinyl, and that's their first album wasn't released on vinyl, which I actually thought it had been, but it was not released on vinyl, and so that's the only one I have that I don't own it, and I don't have it signed. But otherwise, I have everything else, and everything else is signed. Yeah. So, which is awesome. But
also, speaking to your signed albums by them, the story you told in the interview, where she noticed that you had the album in the signed copy, and she basically like took it from you and got you a signed one, but was pretty like it speaks to the. I think it kind of speaks to what I just said, where it's like the sing along, the camaraderie, like the almost like the family of the band. Like, like you're going to take the time to come in to, you know, pay to see us live. I'm going to make sure you're going to walk away with this instead of just a plain copy of it.
Yep. So when I saw them last in October, it was actually the technically the night before the album came out. It was their first show on the U.S. tour at Milk Boy in Philly, but the album was being released on Friday. This was on Thursday night. So I wasn't even sure if they were going to actually have it, because, you know, sometimes certain labels when you work with, they're very, you know, strict about that shit. So technically I bought it the day before it came out. But
it's probably the most hipster fucking thing you've ever said.
I know. I was like, well, I have the
came out.
Yeah, I got it before it came out. That's how cool I am. But you know what? That was so when they were on stage, when they said, they're like, oh yeah, we have signed copies, but we forgot to bring them out to the merch table beforehand. So, you know, we'll get those to you or whatever. But no, like I really like that story's true. Like Katie had said to me, she's like, you know, because it's a Thursday night and we're old and we live in an hour from Philly. And, you know, at that point, Regina was 10 months old. And, you know, she just said, she's like, look, I know you love this band and I know you want to have a good time. And so do I. But like, you know, let's not hang around. She knows I'm a hang around. Like if I get the opportunity to hang around and talk to the band and stuff like that, she knows I'll do it. And I will. Absolutely. That's like, after I saw the Baseball Project back in, August, I was in line for like close to an hour just so like I could get them to sign that copy and meet Mike Mills and Peter Buck. So it was like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? I got to do this. So I will hang around. I will definitely do that. But so I did. We got there and I bought it like right off the bat, like right from the merch table. They didn't even say anything about signed copies or anything like that. They weren't there. They had someone who was actually running their merch table and whatnot. And no, it was really cool. But yeah, like it just so happened like I was walking out and Lorna's standing in the middle of the room and surrounded by people just talking about it. Like when she was on stage, like towards the end of the set, she's like, "It's hot in here. I need a rum and Coke." And someone bought her a rum and Coke and was like handing her the drink there. And just real quick, so she's like, I had a second, so I just reached over and said, "Hey, Lorna, thank you so much, great show." And she saw the album. She just took it from. She's like, "Is that signed?" I was like, "Well, no, but you know, whatever." And she's like, "Nope." And she just took it from me, grabbed the signed one, and handed it to me. And I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." I gave her a big hug and thanked her and whatnot. So, and that's what they do, and that's what like one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it in the interview. But apparently, it just comes down to that. You know, she's not going to pay the band if they don't come out and talk to people. So, you know, I don't blame her. You know.
I mean, I really respect. Well, I really sorry. Katai is texting me about going to buy more beer.
Jesus Christ, Katai, leave us alone. We're working here.
She's literally like I'm like.
She just talked. Like, what is she texting you for? She just talked.
My arm is fully extended. I'm just like 3 inches short of touching her arm.
She's been like, you're 3 inches short everywhere. But like, she was just literally like, she's been interjecting. What the fuck does she need to text you for? Katai, what is wrong with you? Why are you so Delco?
I can really respect a band who's like. From listening to your stories and from listening to them talk, it sounds like he even said he's like they don't have a big following, but but what it sounds like is they have a devoted following, and it means a lot to me as a fan of you know someone who pays to go see concerts. It means a lot to me that they understand that you know like these people work to make their money to pay to go see them, and they're going to give them a good show, and then they're going to make themselves available afterwards.
Yeah, and that's like that. It is cool, and you say devoted. Like I'm definitely a devoted fan. Like when I saw them, well, so when I saw that they were on the bill with Flog and Molly and Annie Flag. Like I've seen Flog and Molly a bunch of times, and you know I play Irish rock. It's like okay, I was iffy about going because I do love Flog and Molly, but then I saw Skinny Lister was on the bill. I'm like, oh, I got to go now. I have to go. And then I remember talking to them that night in Bethlehem, and you know we were just talking, and I think I got like a couple other things, and you know this, that, the other thing, and then I said, you know, I remember asking Dan, like, so what are your plans? You know, you played some new songs tonight. Like, when's the new album coming out? And he's like, well, actually, it's coming out in October. And then we're going to be coming back through, and like, we're going to be playing Philadelphia in October. And at that point, Katie and I had already talked about getting tickets to Depeche Mode, which was not the same night as Skinny Lister, but like, you know, concert dollars are not limitless, you know what I mean? And that's and I just turned to Katie right now. I'm like, we're not going to Depeche Mode. We're going to go see Skinny Lister in October. Yeah,
Katai was just on Facebook Marketplace, and someone was selling. Olivia Rodrigo is playing in Philly on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Someone's selling tickets for it, and she just looked up like what tickets are going for. If you buy them through Ticketmaster or whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And it's like $900. So yeah, ticket money is like concert money is
it's not limitless. You
know what I mean? There's definitely a fucking limit to it depending on what you're going to see. Like I mean shit.
Cool. Yep. So you know, you like On Your Way to Loving this album is
I think if I give this I guess you could kind of call it a fungus album.
To an extent, yeah. I mean,
to an extent, yeah. Like you could.
Well, okay. So I think a true Fungus album is like for me was the Counting Crows, August, and Everything After, because I fucking hated that album when it came out. But then after hearing their second album, I went back and liked the second album so much that I started listening to the first album again. I was like, okay, this is growing on me now. Now I do love August and Everything After. It's such a really really great album.
Yeah.
So.
I think to be a true Fungus album, it has to start off as a hate and then progress to a like. I started off as a enjoyed it and then realized that I would probably enjoy it more if, like I said, I could be part of that family. If I could be part of the sing along, if you will.
Right. Yep. Now, have you? In the last 2 weeks after listening to this, have you listened to anything else in their catalog?
No, but listening to the interview, I definitely want to check out Shanty Punk.
Yes.
First off, by the way, motherfucker, they just came out with the goddamn album in October of last year, and you're like, when's the next one coming out? Let them have a fucking minute, dude.
No, because he mentioned it already. That's why I said it. Like, I didn't even mention it. He's the one who brought up that they were going into the studio. He brought it up.
Deal with and shit. Let them fucking relive.
Hey, he's the one who brought it up. So
I do want to check out more of their shit.
Yeah. So definitely. Yeah. Definitely that. Yeah. Sing-along bar feel that you're looking for is 100% there in Shanty Punk. And I said it in an interview that Shanty Punk is now my favorite Skinny Lister album.
You said if it had come out before we started recording, it would have been on the 25 instead of this.
Yes, exactly. With as long as we, long ago that we started recording, it's pretty amazing that, I knew that I was going to like this album before it even came out too, because we've been doing this for 70 years now. It seems like,
we've been doing this where both of us were born.
Yeah. I love this album. This album is great. It is 12.
Sorry, Katai just texted me and said she saw a raccoon by the dumpster because she.
What, dude? Man,
she went to go buy more beer, and she drives around. We drive around the building to get to, and we pass the dumpster, and there's a raccoon. Raccoons are adorable, Paul.
They are adorable, but still, it's a raccoon, man. What? Just leave it alone.
I'm sorry, Paul. We all
don't hug
live
it.
in the fucking country like you do.
Which is funny, actually. I don't generally see raccoons. Like, not live. I usually see them dead. I don't see a whole lot of raccoons.
Yeah, you had said that because Tom was warning you. Apparently, raccoons are just fucking vicious assholes.
Yeah.
To chickens.
Yep. They will just they won't like. I respect a fox because a fox will break into your coop and it will like kill a chicken to eat it because it needs to eat because that's the circle of life. Whereas a raccoon will break into your chicken coop and kill every chicken you have just because it can. Yeah. So raccoons are kind of dicks, even though they're adorable. Yeah, exactly. So the raccoon is the Second Amendment people of the the animal family. So, not that we're a political podcast or anything like that, because we're not. But no, man, I love this album, man. 12 fucking solid songs. It moves, it bops, and what's great about it is that it carries over live. It is like a little more alt rocky or indie rock type of album, like compared to their other ones. But like Skinny Lister as a band in general, and this album, it stays true to its core. It stays true to its folk sensibility. And examples of that on this album are Beat It From the Chest and Fair Winds. Like those songs are definitely the more core Skinny Lister songs on this album, whereas the other ones they have a little bit more to them. It is very much the way I could describe the songs on this album is simple complexity, like basically, which means that there is so much going on. There's different guitar parts, different vocal parts. There's the harmonies. There's the different like breakdowns just of a song where they'll have within a song, like a pre-chorus and a bridge, and then the verses and the chorus, and the break off to this, that, and the other thing. But it all melds perfectly and sounds like it was just done seamlessly. And like I said, and they pull it off live. They pull up the songs that they play off of this album, which I thought was cool. Was like they're like, oh no, this really is a good album. We play most of this shit live. You know what I mean?
remember that made me laugh. Where like it. So I've heard like live performances of bands, and they're like, oh, like like they like literally they've just kind of forgotten lyrics from like older songs. It was kind of funny to me where he was just like, oh shit, he's like, I didn't realize how many staples come from this album.
Yeah. So what
like basically like the first like half of this album is like kind of like a live staple.
Yeah, to an extent, yeah. Like and seeing them a bunch of times, they do. Since this album came out, they do that. And I remember when they were on tour for this. Like I went with my friend Derm. I took him to the concert. Excuse me, at the Foundry, and I was just like, I would bet money that they're going to open up with Wanted. And this was like just as the album came out, but like I'd already been listening to it and whatnot, and lo and behold, like ever since this album has come out, every single time I've seen them, they've opened up with "Once It," which is a great song, and it is really a solid like in your face. This is how we're going to start the show.
We'll talk about it later, but it is a very good. It's a very good like we're Skinny Lister, we're here. This is what we're going to fucking do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like like I had mentioned, like also like back to the Lemonheads with the first song on that album. It's like the riff, like that's a great song to start an album with that riff and just kind of like bang, here I'm going to catch your attention, and that's exactly what it does. It's just like there's it's just good. It's a great song, and it's a great way to start the album. It's a great way to start their live shows, man, I can't say enough good things about this album. I really do love it, and Shanty Punk, which may or may not end up on season 2. I'll be honest with you. I started my season 2 list. I'm actually up to 9 albums. Like I have a list of now 22 albums. It was 21, and then I remembered one today that I was like, why am I not putting this on for season 2? Yeah. So it's now like 22 albums. 9 of them are set, and then I have the rest where I'm just kind of like, man, I haven't made my full decision yet. And this is Shanty Punk is actually one of those. I'm kind of I'm on the fence. Like it's like, hey, do we do back-to-back Skinny Lister in season 1 and season 2? But honestly, by the time season 2 gets going and season 1 ends, it's probably going to be like 7 more years and 2 more pandemics, and and there we go. So I don't know, man. I think Shanty Punk, I think it might have to be on season 2, and then maybe we even get Skinny Lister back on for season 2. So
I've speaking to that, I've been thinking about my season 2 list, and currently I think I said to you I have like 4 or 5 that I know
something like that,
are going to be. We each have 10.
Yes.
So I have about like I said, I have about half of what I want for season 2 for my list set. Where was I going with that?
I don't know. I think that's it. I think that's all you need to go.
I can remember. It'll come to me. But cool. So it's there's like I also have the disadvantage where Paul lives in the same 4 walls as his record collection.
Yes, I do.
So I have to really
and yours.
Yeah. So next time I'm at the Ottsville Record Garage, I have to really sit down and look through to I remember just what I was thinking of. I have thought of do I want to put other albums from bands that we've covered of my list on season 1 on season 2? I've been kind of going back and forth with it whether or not I want to do that or not.
Yeah, and I say if you want to do it, you know what I mean? That's like I said, you know, it is all good. It's all good in the hood either way. And you know what I mean? If they're albums we like and we want to talk about, fuck it, man. Let's just do it. So, but but like I can't really just like I can't say it enough, man. I love this album. I love the band Skinny Lister. I'm wearing the t-shirt. I did. So we got Snoop in the background here. I did decide to take off the hoodie. I had my Skinny Lister hoodie. I had Snoop wearing that in the background.
Yeah.
And I was just like, maybe that's a little too much. Maybe we're getting into like Buffalo Bill territory here. So I should probably take that off. But you know, that's why I wore the t-shirt of the band that we're talking about on the podcast today. So,
which I think the only other two times this has happened was Gaslight Anthem, because you wore the shirt you bought at the concert.
Yes. Yeah.
I think maybe The Cure.
I might have worn a Cure shirt.
Maybe you've just worn. I know you've worn a Cure T-shirt.
Yeah, I've worn Cure T-shirt. Yeah, I have a couple of those. But like I might have like.
You wore the Gaslight shirt for Gaslight Anthem.
Yeah, well, you know, hey, you know, I'm not opposed to wearing the T-shirt for the band you're going to see. You know, when you're going to see the band. So like whatever, it's all good in the hood. It's all. That's
right, because I'm realizing that I have like 4 T-shirts that I actually wear because I'm rocking my my Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company.
Oh, again, nice.
Which I feel like I've worn for 90% of the episodes.
You've worn for a lot. It's true. I mean, you know, I am not wearing you know, pants. Obviously my Neshaminy Creek hat. I know I do have pants on, but I do have my Pittsburgh Pirates hat on, which is also, you know, a throwback to Pittsburgh Punch Down, which is Pittsburgh Punch Out, which is on Skinny Lister's Shanty Punk as well, which is a pretty fun song.
That was another thing while I was listening to the interview. I really want to listen to Shanty Punk specifically because you said you apologize on behalf of Pennsylvania because I was just in Pittsburgh like 2 weeks ago.
Yep. No, and that's the thing. So we talked about this on The Sounds of Silence, whereas like, you know, as much as I liked the song Richard Corey, it was on my top 3. I did not believe Richard Corey. You know what I mean? I did not believe that neither Paul Simon or Art Garfunkel were working in a factory and their lives were horrible and their boss was off like doing like all this great shit until like he killed himself. I don't believe that. It's not believable.
But you know what I can believe?
What can you believe?
I can believe that he got Hamburg drunk.
Oh, absolutely.
That's probably my favorite fucking part of the interview is when they're explaining Hamburg drunk.
Yep. And that's which is great. And it's like, you know, I might actually start using that term too. Like, you know, nothing to be done but get Hamburg drunk. It's awesome. But like, and that's the thing, you believe those things, and you could almost like the best part about that was like his like little bit of like almost embarrassment when like Lorda's like, yeah, that's him, that's all him, you know. And it was cool, man. I like that, and these songs are believable, and they are, you know, real stories done by real people who live those things, and and I think that's one of the things that makes folk music specifically, but like music in general, but like specifically folk music, when you can believe the person who's singing it, regardless of what they're singing about, like that they believe it, that they've lived it, that this is real to them, makes the music better and definitely connects with the listener. And I think that's also one of the things about this album, man. There's so many different dimensions to the albums, and you know, like Geordie Lad is about a guy who Dan knew. They were in bands together. They played music together. And then, you know what I mean? And this is like the song like about that dude. And, you know, Hamburg Drunk, we know was a real story and whatnot. And it's just awesome. It's just, you know, that connection that they have, the way he's able to put the words down, the music comes together, you know, the whole band has their influence on it and their say. And it just, you know, this is definitely a front to back album for me, and it's, you know, it's cool. I like it. Did you like how I jumped segments in the interview?
Yeah. So I was gonna say, my normal spiel is our opinions are we're peons compared to that beautiful baby angel that lives upstairs. but I already fucking know what the Regina factor is.
You do. She like seriously like she did hear it a few times, but I mean like from the beginning, like the first time I put it on, she was just into it, and like and I knew she was all about it when Tragedy in A Minor came on. Like I seriously was like hysterically laughing while driving, and you know, she didn't do it the first time. It was like the second or third time where she just starts going do 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 do. You know what I mean? And it was just like, it was pretty awesome. I was like, all right, cool. Like I connect with this album. My 17-month-old connects with the album. Like that's, you know what I mean? That's pretty great. So no, it's a 100% solid fucking like on this one, which brings me at 15 likes and 3 dislikes. You at 14 likes and 5 dislikes. So this gives me, I think, a 3-game lead at this point. Or at least a 2.5 game lead. You have, and there's 10 indifferent albums that we've done in this season 1. That, you know, I can't believe it's only 10, seeing how long that season 1 has been going on.
Yeah.
So what are your top 3 songs?
Oh shit! I just spilled my beer a little bit.
God
Let me
damn
break
it!
out my handy dandy notebook.
All right, Dora the Explorer.
Steve from Blue's Clues.
Oh, was that Steve from Blue? Whatever. I you know. Listen, man, we've been watching a lot of Miss Rachel and Teletubbies, and do you know what the Tiddly Tubbies are?
The what now?
The Tiddly Tubbies, like they're like baby Teletubbies, but they're called Tiddly Tubbies, man. Those like
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds horrific.
It does, but it's Regina loves the Tiddly Tubbies, so they're actually they're all animated though. That's the only thing. They're not actually people in big costumes. So they're actually animated, and there's like 5 or 6 of them, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. We watch it on YouTube, because in the actual Teletubbies show, which Teletubbies is still on, they only show the Tiddly Tubbies in like little segments, but the Tiddly Tubbies have a whole fucking bunch of episodes on YouTube. So yeah. So much like the Country Hipster podcast, you can watch Miss Rachel and songs for
one second, I have to go unlock a door.
Yeah, go do it. But yeah, so that is what goes on in my house, is that I watch a lot of kids shows, and a lot of people, I've said this before, that I don't watch television, and it's pretty accurate. Like I watch kids shows. I'm waiting for Stranger Things to come back. You know, I watch documentaries, but like, and people are like, what do you mean you've never seen Game of Thrones? I'm like, listen, I know what it is. I get the idea. There's like dragons and fucking snow and shit like that. But like, you know, like it's just not my thing. I'm not gonna put time into it. I just, you know, the last show that I put time into was House MD. And how long ago was that? So, you know, other than that, I'm waiting for Stranger Things to come out. That's like my thing. Yeah. So,
sorry, but I have the book open. I have unlocked the door I had to unlock. Top 3. I'm going to go.
Hold on. There's something in the background. It's horrific.
Could you?
Go on. You could.
I'm going to say we talked about it. A great intro, a great way to start an album, great way to start a show. Wanted. I'm going to go Injuries, and I'm also going to go Grace.
Nice. Okay. So my top 3, I have a top 3, and then I have 3 honorable mentions. I have Geordie Lad, Hamburg Drunk, and Wanted are my top 3 songs on this album. My honorable mentions are Injuries, Tragedy in A Minor, and Grace. So it's like half the album is like the top half for me.
We're pretty close there, though.
Yeah. Yep. So do you have a least favorite song?
I do.
Okay. What is it?
Beat It From the Chest.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but just something about it. It just, listening to it, it just like, I understand what they're doing. I understand like they're like it's very much a bar room sing along.
It's a shanty, yeah. Uh-huh.
But for some reason it's just it's my least favorite. I don't know. I like everything else on this album more than I like that.
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's fair. Much like Interpol, honestly, I don't have a least favorite song. Like I actually went through the
That being
album
said,
today.
if I'm seeing them live and that fucking thumping bass
Uh huh.
drum starts coming on, I'm like,
Yep.
fuck it, let's do it. Let's fucking beat it from the
I,
chest.
I will tell you this: if when they come back again, whether Birmingham Six is playing with them or not, like you have to come with me to see them.
Yeah.
Because it honestly it takes the albums to a whole different level. It's like it jumps up, and especially the stuff with Shanty Punk translates so well live. It's so great. But no, much like Interpol, I don't have a least favorite on this one, and like I went through. Before we were doing this, and I was just like, and we say all the time with the least favorite song on the album. A lot of times, our least favorite song on an album is better than the best song on other albums, unless it's Say Anything, and then everything's better than that. But yeah, I have no least favorite. There's not one where I could be like, oh, I want to skip this, or I want to go, listen to something else. Like I don't have that here. I do not have that here on this album at all. So I love this album 100%. I'm in on Skinny Lister, The Devil, The Heart, and The Fight. So what we do have to get into, hold on. We got our Discogs value here, right?
Yes.
So, all right. So I actually have 2 copies of this album. We did talk about this. So
now
this one.
I say, which one is the one you have, the red or the blue? Right in your hands, the red or blue?
Right in my hand right here is the transparent red vinyl, The Devil, The Fight, The Devil, The Heart, and The Fight. I keep fucking that up. And this is the transparent vinyl. This was actually, in America, this was an indie release. It was the indie release one, not India release. It was the indie release, as in Indiana Jones. And I'd gotten that for myself, but what I also have, and the sleeve is on the wall and it is autographed, I also have the tour exclusive European version, which is a transparent blue vinyl, with an autographed jacket. Now, I ultimately am giving the value to the blue one because it is more, but there's not much of a difference in the difference in the values. I think we also discussed that.
I think,
when you're here.
And if I remember correctly, we looked this up while I was still up in the Oxford garage after the Sounds of Silence episode, and I said I will agree that you can go with the higher value one. And I remember I remember not being much.
Yeah, I don't really care if you agreed or not. It's just what I was doing. So I'm not putting Weezer Blue in because someone's a dick, but like whatever.
Hey,
but no.
It's not a core episode.
It's not. So sometimes, speaking of like not core episodes, speaking of not like core members of the cast, I do have to say I forgot about this until you just mentioned core. I gotta say happy birthday to Kristen, our like basically like
our
most constant guest. Yeah. Besides Tom, but he has a function. Kristen doesn't have a real function on the podcast except to come on and talk about the albums that she likes, which is
things.
Yeah, exactly. So she's, when did we say
when was Kristen's birthday?
It is actually coming up on Sunday. So happy birthday, Kristen. You are a little bit older than me, and I will always remind you of that.
Happy birthday, Kristen.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, so we went with the value of the blue vinyl, which the Discogs very good plus value on the blue copy. The autograph does not factor into this. Sometimes there are listings where there are autograph copies where they do factor in. Which, before I get into this, let me say this real quick. I went last week or the week before. I went to see Sunny Day Real Estate at the TLA, and it was a fucking amazing show. And they had the 30th anniversary repressing of their vinyl out there, which they were selling. And I think like the regular vinyl, like just as it is, like I think it's on like a clear splatter vinyl, so it's got like a clear vinyl with a black splatter. I think they were selling it for like $30, something like that, which is not bad, especially at a concert. Maybe it's 35, something like that.
Yeah.
But then they were selling autograph copies for $100, and people were buying them. And I was like, fuck that. Which also is also the other thing with Skinny Lizard. You know, you're going to see this band and they're just happy you're buying their album, and they're like, hey, you want me to sign it? Like, yeah, I fucking want you to sign it. And they sign it. And it's just like
oh, you got it before we brought up the signed copies. Let me get you a signed copy.
Exactly. Hey, let's just swap them out. Not like, oh, well, you got to pay like another like, $60 to get it. And granted, like I love Sunny Day Real Estate. It was a great show. It was fucking amazing. But it was just like, dude, really? You're gonna
now, correct me if I'm wrong. This may be just my brain not remembering things. The bass player for Sunny Day Real Estate is the bass player for Foo Fighters, correct?
The original bass player, yes, as well as I believe this. I didn't look this up. I know it was a thing, but also the original drummer and original bass player of Sunny Day Real Estate were the original bass player and drummer for the Foo Fighters. I don't know. I know the drummer's obviously not in the band, and it wasn't Taylor Hawkins or whatever the hell it was.
If I'm not mistaken,
Taylor Hawkins.
Taylor Hawkins.
Yep.
But the bass player still is in Foo Fighters.
I think he might be. I'm not 100% sure of that. I don't. Maybe he was the original bass player when I saw them last week. I honestly don't know. It was a phenomenal show. They played Diary in its entirety, the 30th anniversary of it. And it was cool, but no, I just thought that was kind of lame. It's just like, and it's not like you're paying $100 to meet them and sign it. It's a pre-signed record for $100.
Yeah. Which is what I'm getting at is what other, aside from Sunny Day Real Estate, what are the other bands that the members of Sunny Day Real Estate are known from?
Fire Thief. Yeah, exactly. So,
Do you want to maybe say a name of a band that people have heard of?
Yeah, I know. So like, Jeremy Enoch did some solo stuff, but what are you gonna do? It's
I get it. I understand, but like I always say to people that work, I always say to my associates at work, when you accept your station in life, and overnight at my job is the low man on the totem pole. When you accept your station in life, your life gets so much easier because you're not worried.
Yeah.
When you accept, the Homeboys and the Foo Fighters, but
I know
the Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
you ever hear the story that Dave Grohl tells? There's a story Dave Grohl tells of Christopher Walken hosting Saturday Night Live and Foo Fighters playing on Saturday Night Live that episode, and Christopher Walken comes up to him and goes, "Is the emphasis on Foo or Fighters?" And he's like, "I know exactly what he's talking about." So when Christopher Walken introduces them, he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, Foo Fighters."
Okay, nice. But at any rate, so off my little rant there of overcharging for autograph stuff, but the very good plus value on my transparent blue copy of this album is $13.20, which brings it up to $14.
Do you have on hand what the transparent red was?
It was like 9 something. It was like I said, it wasn't a huge difference. So that brings my running total to $825, and Adam's running total is still at $1,014. So I am $189 to the negative. You have 1 album left, so you're going to add to that. I have 2 albums left. Knowing what's there, I'm going to say it's very unlikely I'm going to catch you, but I'm going to say it's not.
If I'm not mistaken, I know one of your albums, one of your remaining 2, which, by the way,
a little special,
which I've been fucking waiting for this season.
Okay,
might not be worth much, but I know the other one is a special. Is a special version.
Yep.
I'm gonna get a little cocky, and I'm gonna say I'm not worried.
Oh yeah, you're not worried? Yeah. All right. Well, let's see where we are.
Yeah, let's pull out Michael Stripe and see.
We got 3 left here, and I'm gonna just mix them up. I don't want to see the numbers. I'm not gonna look so I can see a color or anything like that. I'm honestly kind of hoping that I pick your last album, so that way we get you out of the way, and then we'll see where we
Honestly, I
are.
think would be. I think for just strictly for the value portion of it, it would be super exciting to just knock out mine and then have yours and then have yours to build up to see if you actually get there, but you won't.
I have it. So here we go. Oh, fuck you. All right, so here we go. It's envelope 28. I actually can't tell what color it is. It's blue, and you know what that means. We're getting our wish. Our next album is yours.
Nice.
It is your last album of your 25. It is album 25 for Adam, and it is Mumford and Sons, Sigh No More. So that is your that's your 25. We will get your final total, and I will still have 2 albums to go.
Can I tell you something interesting about me having this on my 25?
Sure.
This entire time, I keep forgetting that this is on my 25.
Okay.
Like, so before we pulled Sounds of Silence, you were like, "You have 2 albums left." I was like, "I have Simon and Garfunkel. Mm-hmm. What the fuck is the other one?" And I remember this is on my 25. But yes, I'm super excited for this.
Cool. So this is I like, obviously the big hit on this is Little Lion Man. This is the debut album from Mumford and Sons. I am interested in listening to this. So Mumford and Sons is one of those bands here I've always heard the hits, and I've always generally liked the hits, but it was never enough for me to want to get into more than the hits. You know what I mean? So I'm interested. I'm interested to see how this album plays out. I don't know if I've ever actually listened to this album complete. I do know some of the songs on here. Just looking at it, I know The Cave, I know Sigh No More, I know Little Lion Man, but I don't know if I necessarily know the this whole album in general. Yeah. So I'm interested. I'm interested in listening to this. I'm you know, if the rest of the album is like the songs that I know, then I think I'm going to like it. But you know, we'll find out. We'll find out next week.
Yeah. We'll find out if you like it. We'll find out how much it's worth.
Yeah, well, you know,
we'll find out more importantly if Regina likes it.
The good thing is there's nothing like.
Can I make a prediction? I think Regina's going to like it. I think Regina's going to like it.
I agree. I think just from what I know about Mumford and Sons, I think Regina will like this as well too.
Especially like since she liked Skinny Lister, I think she's. I'm not saying they're identical, but they both have kind of It's not a huge leap to be like, I'm gonna listen to a Skinny Lister album, then I'm gonna listen to Mumford and Sons album.
Yeah, they're not a an exact parallel, but there is definitely a line that goes from one to the other. It's more like a perpendicular.
They're at the same party.
Yes, exactly. They're at the same party. The Skinny Lister party, I will say overall, is much cooler than the Mumford and Sons party, but you know they're at the same.
Mumford and Sons party is married to Michelle Williams, so.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's
cool.
Fun.
There you go. So is Heath Ledger. Look how that worked out. Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. I'm pretty sure he's married to Michelle, the lead singer of Mumford and Sons. I'm pretty sure.
You could bring that up into factoids next week. So
that'd be the factoids. Tune in.
There you go. So, do you have anything else to say about Skinny Lister, The Devil, the Heart, and the Fight?
Same thing I always say. Listen to it, form your own opinions, because you know, like I said, it's grown on me, and it could probably grow on you too. So, listen and form your own opinions.
Nice. Yes, and I will say once again,
thank you.
Go ahead.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dan and Lorna. Thank you guys so much for coming on. And being a part of the Country Hipster podcast. It is really appreciated. You know, go to skinnylister.com, you know, check out all their stuff, listen to their stuff on Spotify or Apple Music or Bandcamp or wherever you do it. But most importantly, buy a physical copy. They do have a merch store, you know, but like, it's okay. So I just gonna say this real quick before we sign off too. Like that was the other thing. Like I mentioned, like, where can you buy like Skinny Lister stuff? And, she knows we're U.S. based at a U.S. based podcast, and she's trying to like rack her brain as to where in the U.S. can I send these people to buy the stuff so that they can save on shipping.
Yeah,
because shipping
she's trying to save a few dollars on shipping because it is
it's expensive.
Shipping.
Yeah. And that's again, that's one of like the brilliant things about this band is that's how much they care about their customers or their fans. That it's just like, yes, we want you to buy our music, but we also, we understand we're working people. Like, just, we don't money's tight all around. So go check out Skinny Lister, buy their stuff, download their stuff, listen to their stuff. Most importantly, when they come around to your town or near your town, go see Skinny Lister live. They are amazing. Next year, they will be back with the Birmingham Six, and it'll be like the biggest tour of their whole career. It'll be amazing. But if you have nothing else to say, I have nothing else to say, so it is time to...